Imagine a giant zipper slowly opening across the land. This is happening right now in Africa. The whole continent is beginning to break in two. This amazing process started millions of years ago, but we can see the effects today. A long crack, called the East African Rift, stretches for thousands of miles. It runs from the north in Ethiopia all the way down to Mozambique in the south. This isn't just a small crack in the dirt, it is a deep tear in the very foundation of the earth. One day, far in the future, this rift will fill with water. A brand new ocean will be born, forever changing the map of our world. So, how can a continent just split apart? The Earth's surface is not one solid piece. It is made of huge, rocky puzzle pieces called tectonic plates. These plates are always moving, but very, very slowly. They float on a layer of hot, gooey rock deep inside the planet. In East Africa, 3 of these massive plates are meeting. The Nubian plate, which carries most of Africa, is pulling away from the Somali plate, which holds the eastern part of the continent. They are separating at about the same speed your fingernails grow. It might not seem like much, but over millions of years, this slow pulling creates enormous forces. But there is another powerful force at work here, deep beneath the ground. Scientists have discovered something called a superplume. Think of it as a giant, super hot bubble of molten rock rising up from near the Earth's core. This bubble is pushing upwards against the bottom of Africa's tectonic plate, like a blowtorch heating a sheet of plastic. This superplume is making the crust weaker, thinner, and easier to break. It acts like a giant heartbeat, sending pulses of heat and energy upwards, helping to push the two sides of Africa apart even faster. This deep heat is the engine driving the whole spectacular breakup. This immense geological power doesn't happen quietly. The pulling and stretching of the crust creates a lot of action on the surface. It causes earthquakes and creates volcanoes. In Ethiopia, in 2005, the ground suddenly split open after a series of earthquakes. A huge crack, miles long and many feet wide, appeared in the desert in just a few days. It was a dramatic sign of the forces at work. Another incredible example is Mount Nyiragongo in the Congo. This volcano has a giant lake of lava at its top. In 2002, it erupted, sending rivers of fast-moving lava into a nearby city, showing the raw power hidden just beneath our feet. The story gets even more mysterious when we look deeper. It turns out there might be a secret ocean hidden far below us. In 2014, scientists found evidence of a massive amount of water trapped inside a special kind of blue rock. This rock, called ringwoodite, is located hundreds of miles down in the Earth's mantle. There could be 3 times more water locked in this rock than in all the oceans on the surface combined. Some believe this hidden water could be playing a part in Africa's split. If the heat from the superplume warms this water, it could rise and further weaken the crust from below, making it easier for the rift to tear open. Back on the surface, the rift creates some very strange places. One of the most dangerous is Lake Natron in Tanzania. This lake is not like any other. It is fed by hot springs that bubble up from the volcanic ground below. These springs carry a lot of special salts and minerals. This makes the lake's water extremely alkaline, almost like bleach. It is so caustic that it can burn the skin and eyes of most animals that touch it. The water can also get incredibly hot, reaching temperatures that could boil an egg. It is truly one of the deadliest lakes in the world, a direct result of the volcanic activity in the rift. Because of its strange chemistry, Lake Natron has a spooky talent. Any animal that dies in its waters doesn't just decay. The high concentration of sodium carbonate, the same substance ancient Egyptians used for mummification, preserves their bodies. They become calcified, turning into hard stone-like statues. Birds that fall into the lake can be found washed ashore, looking like they were frozen in time. It is a weird and haunting sight. The lake is a natural gallery of perfectly preserved salty sculptures, a testament to its deadly power and unique chemical makeup, all thanks to the geology of the rift. But even in this deadly place, life finds a way. For one special bird, Lake Natron is a paradise. Huge flocks of lesser flamingos travel here to breed. In fact, about 75% of the world's entire population of these birds use this lake as their main nesting ground. Their tough, leathery skin on their legs protects them from the burning water. The lake's harshness also keeps predators away, making it a safe nursery for their chicks. The flamingos feed on the special algae that thrive in the salty water, which gives them their famous pink color. This strange, dangerous lake is essential for their survival. The geologic forces shaping Africa have also created some incredible mysteries that have puzzled people for years. One of the biggest is a landmark so huge it can only be truly appreciated from space. It is called the Eye of the Sahara, or the Richat structure. It is a gigantic set of perfect rings in the desert of Mauritania, almost 50 kilometers wide. For a long time, nobody knew what it was. Some people thought it must be the crater from a giant asteroid impact. But scientists have studied the rocks and found no evidence of a collision from space. It remains a stunning natural wonder. The mystery of the Eye of the Sahara has led to some exciting theories. Some people believe it might be the location of the lost city of Atlantis. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato described Atlantis as a city made of concentric rings of land and water. The Eye of the Sahara looks very similar to his description. The theory suggests that this area was once a lush island, and that massive geological shifts, perhaps related to the forces splitting Africa, caused it to rise up and dry out. While most geologists disagree, the resemblance is fascinating and keeps the legend of Atlantis alive in the heart of the desert. Another strange discovery lies scattered across the sands of the eastern Sahara. It is called Libyan desert glass. This is a beautiful, yellowish-green glass found in a remote part of the desert between Libya and Egypt. It is some of the purest natural silica glass ever found on Earth. Ancient Egyptians knew about it and even carved a scarab beetle from this glass for King Tutankhamun's necklace. Scientists have dated the glass to be around 100,000 years old, but no one is exactly sure how it was made. There is no impact crater nearby, which makes its origin a complete puzzle. Scientists have a few ideas to explain the mysterious glass. The leading theory is that it was not created by a direct asteroid hit, but by a massive explosion in the air. Imagine a comet or a small asteroid entering the atmosphere and exploding with incredible force before it even reached the ground. This giant airburst would have been hotter than the sun for a few moments. This intense heat would have been enough to instantly melt the desert sand on the surface below, turning it into the pure glass we find today. It would explain the glass without leaving a crater, a silent reminder of a powerful cosmic event. The Sahara Desert was not always a dry, sandy wasteland. The same region that holds these geologic mysteries was once a very different place. Thousands of years ago, it was a green Sahara, full of lakes, rivers, and grasslands. In 2003, a team of scientists stumbled upon an incredible discovery in Niger, a Stone Age cemetery called Gobero. Buried beneath the sand, they found around 200 graves. These burials told the story of two completely different groups of people who lived and died here when the land was wet and full of life, a lost world preserved under the dunes. The first group of people who lived at Gobero are called the Kifians. They were there around 10,000 years ago. These were tall, powerfully built hunter-gatherers. Skeletons show they were often over 2 meters, or 6'7", in height. They hunted wild animals and fished in the lakes that once dotted the landscape. Then, around 8,000 years ago, the climate changed and became drier, and the Kifians disappeared. For about 1,000 years, the area seemed to be empty. It was a time of great change, as the Green Sahara began its slow transformation into the desert we know today. Then, a new group of people arrived. They are known as the Tenarians, and they lived at Gobero between 7,000 and 5,000 years ago. They were smaller and had a different way of life, raising cattle and making more delicate tools and pottery. The most moving discovery from this time is a grave known as the Lovers of Gobero. It holds the skeletons of a woman and 2 children, buried together in an eternal embrace with their hands linked. It is a powerful and very human moment from 5,000 years ago, showing us that love and family have always been important, no matter how much the world changes around us. Even older secrets lie, hidden nearby. In the Nubian desert of Egypt is a site called Nabta Playa. Here, archaeologists found a large circle of stones, arranged carefully in the sand. This stone circle is believed to be one of the oldest astronomical observatories in the world, even older than Stonehenge in England. Scientists believe that ancient people used these stones to track the stars. Some researchers think the circle aligns perfectly with the constellation Orion as it appeared in the sky thousands of years ago. It may have been a calendar or a complex map of the cosmos, built by people who watched the same stars we see today, from a land that has since completely transformed.